April 14th, 1912. The world's largest passenger ship cuts through the frigid North Atlantic. RMS Titanic. 982 feet of steel and ambition, carrying 2,209 souls. This wasn't just a ship. It was a floating city, a testament to human engineering that defied the ocean itself. The White Star Line had declared her practically unsinkable. Those words would haunt history. Aboard this maiden voyage, society's rigid hierarchy played out across three distinct worlds. 329 first-class passengers enjoyed unimaginable luxury in their floating palace. 285 second-class passengers traveled in comfort that rivaled first class on other ships. 709 third-class passengers, mostly immigrants, chased the American dream from the ship's depths. 885 crew members kept this mechanical marvel running, unaware of the catastrophe approaching. At the helm stood Captain Edward Smith, the most respected commander in the merchant marine. This was to be his final voyage before retirement. A career spanning decades would end in legend. The ship's revolutionary design featured 16 watertight compartments. She could survive flooding in any four. This engineering marvel had one fatal flaw. The watertight bulkheads didn't reach high enough. As Titanic steamed west toward New York, no one could imagine that in hours, most would be dead. If you're finding value in this, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. April 14th, 1912. 6 separate ice warnings would reach the Titanic throughout the day. Ship after ship radioed urgent warnings about massive ice fields directly ahead. The Caronia, the Baltic, the America, each message more desperate than the last. Captain Edward Smith received every single warning. His response? Maintain course, 22 knots, full speed ahead through waters known to be crawling with ice. The final warning came at 11 p.m. from the nearby ship Californian. Quote, "We are stopped and surrounded by ice." The Titanic's radio operator cut them off. In the crow's nest, lookouts Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee strained their eyes into the darkness. They had no binoculars. The key to the storage locker was locked away in an officer's cabin. 2 men tasked with spotting danger in absolute darkness, completely blind to what lay ahead. Meanwhile, the ship's class system was already determining who had access to safety information. First-class passengers dined in blissful ignorance while third-class passengers remained locked below decks. 6 warnings ignored. 2 lookouts blinded. 2,000 people racing toward death at 22 knots. At 11:39 p.m., Frederick Fleet spotted something massive emerging from the darkness ahead. At 11:40 p.m., those ignored warnings became reality. The unsinkable ship struck the iceberg at 22.5 knots. Water flooded the lower compartments immediately. The ship began its death spiral. 2,209 souls had 2 hours and 40 minutes to live. The lifeboats could save 1,178 people, more than enough. Instead, boat after boat launched half empty into the freezing Atlantic. Women and children first meant women and children from first and second class only. Third-class passengers found themselves trapped below deck, locked behind gates. The crew followed protocol. Save the wealthy first. The poor could wait. As the final lifeboat launched with only 12 people when it could hold 65, the band played on as 1,514 people faced certain death. The water temperature was 28 degrees Fahrenheit. 15 minutes was all they had. only 710 survived. Not because there wasn't room, but because of choices. In the aftermath of humanity's greatest maritime disaster, the British Board of Trade convened an inquiry that would expose a conspiracy of negligence. What they discovered was criminal. The lifeboat requirements were based on tonnage, not human lives. The Titanic legally carried enough lifeboats for just 1,178 people on a ship designed for 3,547. But the most damning evidence came in the survival statistics. The numbers told a story of deliberate class discrimination. 60% of first-class passengers survived. 42% of second class made it out alive. Third-class passengers, only 24% lived to see morning. The inquiry also revealed another shocking betrayal. Captain Stanley Lord of the SS Californian had ignored Titanic's distress signals. His ship sat motionless just 10 miles away, while 2,209 souls fought for their lives. Lord was court-martialed and stripped of his command. But the real villains wore expensive suits, not naval uniforms. White Star Line's cost-cutting measures were laid bare. Inadequate safety protocols, insufficient training, profit over human life. The company had chosen to meet minimum legal requirements rather than moral obligations. Meanwhile, families of 1,514 victims received minimal compensation for their devastating losses. The inquiry's final verdict was clear. This tragedy was entirely preventable. But would these revelations be enough to prevent future maritime disasters? The Titanic disaster changed maritime law forever. But the price of these new regulations was written in the blood of 2,209 souls. Within 2 years, 14 nations gathered in London. Their mission: ensure nothing like April 15th, 1912 could ever happen again. The Solace Convention of 1914 became the most important maritime safety treaty in history. Safety of life at sea would be its eternal mission. The first law was absolute. Every ship must carry lifeboats for 100% of souls aboard. No exceptions. No calculations based on nearby ships. As we discovered earlier, the SS Californian's radio operator had gone to sleep. This fatal silence would never be allowed again. 24-hour radio watch became mandatory. Ships would never again vanish into the darkness without a voice crying out for help. The ice that killed 1,500 people demanded its own solution. The International Ice Patrol was born from tragedy. Every iceberg is now tracked. Every ship warned. The North Atlantic's floating mountains of death can no longer strike without warning. Modern cruise ships carry lifeboats for 125% capacity, plus additional life rafts, plus backup systems the Titanic never dreamed of. GPS satellites track every vessel. Rescue coordination centers monitor every voyage. Ships cannot simply disappear into the night like ghosts. The Titanic's wreck remained hidden for 73 years. Today's ships broadcast their exact position every second of every day. Emergency beacons activate automatically when ships sink.